शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु भक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Let us see where we are. So we saw yesterday Anandaha iti Vidyakarmanoho phalam tadvikarha Anandamayaha. So that which is the fruit of good karma, that is what it is. This Anandamaya, this Ananda is the fruit of good karma, and in fact it is the culmination of Vijnanamaya that turns into Anandamaya. It was noted, and then it was said that Jnana karmano hi phalam bhoktrarthatvat antaratamam syat. अंतरतमश्च आनंदमयः आत्मा पूर्वेभ्यः विद्याकर्मणोः क्रियादि अर्थत्वात् च क्रियादि प्रयुक्ते हि विद्याकर्मणि तस्मात् क्रियादीनां फलरूपाणाम् आत्मसन्निकर्षाद् विज्ञानमयाद् अस्य आभ्यन्तरत्वम् उपपद्यते. Great pains are being taken by Bhashyakara to establish the connection, the subtle connection between Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya. Not only that, to establish also the what's its name, the difference between them, because it is easy to mistake the two. It's easy to mistake the two. So there is great pains being taken by Bhashyakara to do the needful here, so that it is very, very clear. So what is Vijnanamaya? We know it as Karta, but why do we know it as the doer? Because the doership is ascribed to Vijnanamaya, and wherever there is doership, there is knowledge of what needs to be done. So there is a knowership and a doership which cannot be extricated from one another. Okay, so then that is one thing. Then the second thing is that doership is not resting, is in the service of experiencership, in the sense, as we saw yesterday, one cannot do and then sit quietly, one expects results. So there is a result orientation. So there is one is result oriented, one is not action oriented, and so that result is what is important, and that result to enjoy, that result when it's enjoyed, that is Anandamaya. The two are related, but they are separate. That is Anandamaya. Manomaya also comes in because the mind is needed to the various shades of the Antahkarana Vritti, as we'll see in the future, when Bhashyakara will delineate those are also needed in order to understand this. So all that is needed, and then we have that. So all that is needed. So when we have that, then there is there is Priya, Moda, Pramoda, gradations of Ananda. So, these gradations of Ananda are contingent upon numerous things. First, Purva Punya, and that Punya has to be fructify in a certain way at a certain time. All this is there, and then it blossoms in the it blossoms in the form of the various gradation of happiness. That is what he is trying to say. So then the Vijnanamaya Karta, then Anandamaya is Bhokta. Why? Because the Karta does the karma in order to become Anandamaya, in order to quote unquote become Sukhi, become happy. So therefore, Abhyantaratvam Anandamayasya. So Anandamaya is a possibility within, so to speak, not really within, without, there is no in and out. So possibility within, so to speak, the Vijnanamaya. Tasmat Priyadinam Phalarupanam Atmasannikarshat. Atmasannikarsha means, see, this is what it is, even though, this is very important going forward. What is he trying to say? He is trying to say that even though the Atma, the Atma is not being talked about here. Only Priya, Moda, Pramoda are being talked about. Why only Priya, Moda, Pramoda are being talked about? Because one is an experience hog. And the experience hog is saying, okay, yesterday I was more happy. Today I'm less happy. Tomorrow I want to be even more happy. So the experience hog is making some changes and gradations in one's own experience of happiness, etc., etc. So this Priya, Moda, Pramoda comes into the picture. Okay, so that Bhashyakara says, let us never forget that without the presence of the Atma, there will be no Priya. Atma is, therefore Priya is. Atma is, therefore Pramoda is. Atma is, therefore Moda is. No Atma, no Moda. No Atma, no Pramoda. No Atma, and obviously no Priya. So why is there Priya Moda? Why is there discernible gradations of happiness? If you were to ask that question, then Bhashyakara will say the following, that Priyadina Phalarupanam Atmasannikarshat. The closeness, the proximity with Atma is always there. Meaning what? Priya is sitting next to the Atma. No, Priya is not sitting next to the Atma. In fact, without Atma, there is no Priya. In fact, it is Atma with a certain kind of an inhibited manifestation. The difference is in the manifestation. That is what is called Priya. And what is the inhibiting factor? Your own Ajnanam and its broods. What are the broods of Ajnanam? Raga and Dvesha. That is what it is. Your own Ajnanam. And the want, I want this, I don't want this, I think I'll have this, no, I changed my mind, all this. This is the problem. And this is indeed the situation. So therefore, Tasmat, Priyadinam, Phalarupanam, which this Priya, Moda, Pramoda, which has just been pointed out, are in the form of the fruits of good actions in the past life or this life. They are always dependent upon Atma for their being. So no Atma, no Priya, no Moda, no Pramoda. This is the thing. So therefore, what do they have? They have Atma Visheshat. He says they have Atma Sannikarsham. Atma Sannikarshatvam is there. So that is, so Atma Sannikarsham means the proximity. And in fact, it is almost like a Madhyamapada Lopa Samasa, a compound with a middle word missing. It's called Madhyamapada Lopa Samasa. Like, for example, when you say gas station. So you don't mean a gassy station. So, what do you say? A gas station that dispenses gas. So, but then a station dispensing, a gas dispensing station. So the word dispensing is followed here, and then we have the middle word missing type of a compound called Madhyamapada Lopa Samasa. And what is that? Gas station. So in Sanskrit also we have here is a similar one. And Atma Sannikarsha. Atma Sannikarshatvam means that which is very close to the Atma. Close to the Atma means what? Atma is occupying space so that you can first in 2020 there was pandemic, so you had to keep 1 meter distance, and now you can go close to the Atma. There is no problem. No, not at all. Close to the Atma means what? And that is what he says. Beautiful Bhashya here. Atma Samnikarshatvam means that if nothing is dependent upon Atma, because nothing is independent of Atma. So if you think of mountain is Atma, your thought is Atma, thinker is Atma, everything is Atma. So then there is no distance between the mithya bhuta vastu, which is nama rupa, meaning there is no difference between the object at hand and what is the object at hand. Anything is the object at hand, anything like ghata, pata, matha, etc. So there is no difference between the object and the subject which is upholding the object. That is the idea. Between the Atma, there is no distance. And the Atma which is Satyam and the Nama Rupa which is Mithya, there is no difference, there is no distance. There is no distance at all. And so, because the Sad Vastu, the Atma, is the Adhisthana of everything. So, Atma Sannikarshatvam is there for every object. Proximity, closeness, where every object is non-separate from Atma, but Atma is separate from all of them. That we have to remember. So, then, Atma Karshatvam means Atma Swarupa Sannikarsha. It's not that one is sitting close to the Atma. No, Atma Swarupa. The reality, the nature of the Atma, that Sannikarsha is what we are talking about. And the Swarupa of the Atma is uninhibited. But when you experience the happiness in the form of a thought, it is by nature, it is by nature, what is that? Inhibited. Why? Because it depends on the disposition of the antahkarana. Various things. Factors are there, what you like and what you are getting, etc., etc. And so then the Priya, Moda, Pramoda manifest in various degrees. And he will say that later. They manifest. And what is manifest is not Priya, but what is behind Priya, which is the Purnatvam of the Atma. That alone is manifest in an upadhi called Priya, in a name and a form called Priya, Moda, Pramoda, different gradations, etc. So it is it is in the form of one's own karma phala. And then what is that? That is what is manifest. Sukha Visheshas are there. And then he says that Vijnanamayat asya abhyantaratvam upapadyate. So therefore it is other than Vijnanamaya and it is innermost. It is innermost because the Atma is because Anandamaya is closer to the Atma in terms of its Swarupa Abhivyakti. Vijnanamaya also is Atma. Atma is not Vijnanamaya. Anandamaya is also Atma, and Anandamaya is manifests its Swarupa in terms of the manifestation. The Anandamaya is closer to that Swarupa. Therefore, Vijnanamayat asya abhyantaratvam upapadyate iti yuktam. So, meaning that it is innermost to the Vijnanamaya. It is very close to the Atma. And it is what is Anyaha. It is separate. Why? Vijnanamaya karta, this one bhokta. And how to say that it is anyaha, he gives one example, not an example, he gives a maxim. He says, swapne upalabhyate. It is available in the dream. It means what? What is the it that is available in the dream? It is available in the dream in the sense that the Anandamaya is available in the dream. Oh, so I have to go to sleep in order to enjoy something? How is that possible? Laddu is in the waking state, and now you are asking me to go to sleep to enjoy the laddu that is away from me. If it is, if I want to enjoy the laddu, I have to stay awake, but you're asking me to go to sleep. Well, you can stay awake and enjoy the laddu, but what happens? There will be inhibitions. It is the inhibited enjoyment where the kartritvam keeps coming back in. Oh, the laddu did not come out properly, and it's not very well made. Oh, I should have added more ghee. The karta is lamenting. The lamenting karta comes out. Ananda is also there. Yes, it is sweet and other, even though I am not liking it, at least the guests who come are enjoying it. The guests have come and I have invited them for lunch. The sweet dish is laddu. Laddu means ball of calories, okay? And then the sweet dish I'm giving to the people. And then I'm myself not happy with it because it is falling apart in my hands. It's supposed to be round and firm, but it is falling apart. And somehow I'm serving the people. I'm not happy with it. Why? Because of my own disposition. Yet the other people seem to have no problem with it. It tastes good and it goes and melts in the mouth and they are happily enjoying it. So there is a difference there. The cook who is self-critical cannot eat on the day of the party. Oh, I don't know how it is. There is nervousness. There is a disposition check. And then one feels like, okay, I'm not going to be present here. I just want to go away, let them enjoy because it is too stressful. Why is it stressful? Because I want it to be a certain way and I don't know if it is going to go well or not. That is the idea. And so therefore, here too, the Anandamaya is mixed in with Vijnanamaya in the waking state. Just like the cook thinks, oh, I should have added more salt to this dish. I should have added more sugar. I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have gone here. I should have gone there. I should have not made this. I should have made something else. There is Vijnanamaya is lamenting in between moments of Ananda, and so the two experiences are mixed up. If you want to find out Anandamaya by itself, the Upanishad says, and when Adi Shankara explains, what? Go to sleep. What now? Don't act surprised. Many times I go to sleep by this time, 20 minutes into the class is a very good time to nod off. So don't act surprised. So go to sleep. Not now. But generally speaking, when you go to sleep, what happens? There is only uninhibited sukha. And in dream also there is sukha. Swapne upalabhyate. Sushuptau upalabhyate. So this Anandamaya, the Anandamaya or the Upalabdhi of the Anandamaya, pure Anandamaya, unbridled by Vijnana, unbridled, the unburdened by, what is that, Manomaya. Pure Anandamaya, where will you find? Just like pure Vijnanamaya, you find in the realm of do worship. Pure Anandamaya, you find where? You find in the realm of where all experiencer prevails. And that is one example. There is sleep. Perhaps that's the only example. I mean, where else is Anandamaya shining by itself? No. Anandamaya as the Atma, as the happy Atma, the pleased self, shines in the, exclusively. It has the exclusive rights to shine uninhibitedly in sleep. Alas, you are not there to enjoy it. That's why Bhashyakara says, Swapne upalabhyate. In dream also. Why? Because even in dream, if you are digging a hole for yourself, if you are digging a hole, you are not the digger. You don't feel identified with the kartrutvam, and so therefore what? In dream, there is no kartrutvam. There's only bhoktritvam. That's why in dream, if you cuff somebody and then wake up to remember the dream, you will not be charged with assault and battery. Battery means a funny way of saying beating up the other person. You will not be charged. And so, therefore, the dream state is just bhoga of all the kartritvam that is there in the form of vasanas, impressions in the mind. What happens is that there is just bhoga. And so that is what it is in the dream, in the dream state, even though Vijnanamaya is there, all the mayas are there, but there is no kartrutvam. It is vasanamaya swapnaha. So it is full of the experiences, memories gathered in the waking state, which are regurgitated in sleep. So there is no kartrutvam at all. And so then Vijnanamayasya karma phalam, you cannot say it is karma phala. So Vijnanamayasya karma phalam, because why you cannot say that? Because it is Vijnanamayasya karma phalam alone, but you cannot say that Vijnanamaya is superior to Anandamaya. You cannot say. Why? Atma Sannikarshatvat. That is the idea. Because the Atma, because the Anandamaya is the innermost Atma, the innermost Kosha, and so the Atma is very close there to Anandamaya, cognitively speaking. Okay, so then Anandamaya, the Anandamaya has Swapne Upalabdhyate. And then so then that is also karma phala, he points out. Then that means, let us go to the Bhashya now. That means what? Let us see what it means here. क्रियादिप्रयुक्ते हि आनन्दमयः विज्ञानमय आश्रितः फलरूपाणाम् आत्मसन्निकर्षात् विज्ञानमयाद् अस्य आभ्यन्तरतमत्वम् उपपद्यते क्रियादिवासना निर्वर्तितः हि आत्मा. This is the last sentence we have to do. क्रियादिवासना निर्वर्तितः. निर्वर्तितः means set up. Nivartitah means returned. So let me share that. So we'll see where we are here. So here is where we are. Kriyadi vasana nirvartitah hi atma anandamayah vijnanamaya ashritah swapne upalabhyate. This is the one. So we saw swapne upalabhyate, and then because it is not the doer, that's why it comes in the dream as something to experience. So what swapne upalabhyate? Then anandamaya upalabhyate. Anandamaya swapne upalabhyate. First we take upalabhyate root verb, and then we have to find something in the first case to qualify that. So then Anandamaya upalabhyate. Then we look for the location of action. Where is this happening? Is it happening? Where is the Anandamaya? When or where is the Anandamaya? There in the dream, etc., etc. Where is the Anandamaya? Upalabhyate, swapne upalabhyate. So in the dream state, it is available. That is the idea. In the dream state, it is exclusively available. Other places also it is available. But in the dream state, it is exclusively there. This is what is the is the teaching here. Very beautiful. And then we'll go further, but before that, a few words, and then we'll read the Bhashya again from where we have stopped. So then, what else? There is one more point here. I had noted it down. I'm looking for it. Hold on. Yeah. So then this vasana, so the experience of Ananda, whether it's in dream or in the waking state, is nirvartitaha, already set up. How set up means it is set up. How is it set up? Priyadi vasana bhihi. Priyadivasana means Priya, Moda, Pramoda, etc. Whatever experience you had, Jagrit Avasthayam, in the waking state you had experienced something that was made you happy, something was pleasing, the same thing enacts itself in the dream. Acts doesn't mean kartrutva. It just plays. It's like a record button has been pressed during the waking state, and in the sleep state, in the dream state, half awake state, dream state, and that button starts to play. And then it enacts itself, and that's when you experience this Anandamaya. And then even though there is, Vijnanamaya is present, but it does not have any kind of a job to do. There is no job, there is only bhokta. And Anandamaya is there. So then, because Sukha in the dream is also Sukha. And so, what a lovely example. And so that Sukha, which is very close to the Atma Sannikarshatvat, meaning it's not close physically speaking, it is close cognitively speaking, because we are talking from the body, we are going subtly all the way to doership and experiencership. So the experiencership is close to that Ananda, which is the Swarupa. That alone is being experienced. That's what we mean by close. Okay. So Priyadi Vasana Nirvartitaha Atma Anandamaya. विज्ञानमय आश्रिते आनंदमयः स्वप्ने उपलभ्यते. So Vijnanamaya Ashrite means Antahkarana Ashrite. Vijnanamaya stands for Manomaya also. So Manomaya means the mind is there. Ashrite means because the mind has to broadcast that happiness upon waking. Remember the dream and say, I am very happy, I was so happy, etc. And then that is what the Upalabhyate. And here the dream is not the Karta's what is that? Karma phala. But because it may be karma phala of the person, that's a different thing. But in dream, there is no karta. Okay, that's the idea. So anyaha. So anyaha, anandamayaha, vijnanamaya, anyaha, abhyantara. These two facts we have to. He makes it very, very clear. And then, so that is what is established. So what is Anandamaya Atma? Then it is Priyamodadi Upadhi Avachinna Atma. The Atma that is as though conditioned by various dispositions, called little happy, little more happy, and very, very happy. Priya Moda Pramoda. That is what is called Antakarana Vishesha Vritti. And so that is the thing. Even in English, I mean, forget ancient Sanskrit, etc. Even in English, we have all these gradations. Yes, how is this? Oh, it's fabulous. In America, there are only hyperboles. Fab. It's great. It's wonderful. You don't know. Nobody says it's okay. But we do have that expression. So in India, it's the opposite. No matter how wonderful it is, people will say, yeah, theek tha, it's okay. It's all right. because I think there is culturally, the expression is not very animated. So everything is okay. And then, but in America, in the West, especially in America, everything is wonderful. And so it's always one strives to be in a state of pramoda all the time. So, but then there are also gradations. Okay, it is okay. It's all right. I'm happy. I'm okay, I'm happy. Priya. Oh, I'm very happy. Moda. I'm ecstatic. Pramoda. We have this also. And so same thing in Sanskrit, because it's all based on human experience, I'm pleased, and then I'm wonder, which is wonderful, etc. All these, this is out of body experience, all these expressions are there. And then because it's the gamut of human experience, so in every language, there will be words for Priya, Moda, Pramoda, even though that's not what it is recognized as. In every language, it will be there. And so some maybe more in some and more in others. Like they said that Bhutan, people of Bhutan is the happiest country in the whole world. For 5 years in a row, they have established Bhutan as the happiest country. There is a gross happiness indicator or something like that they have about the quality of life and where people are. They have interviewed a lot of people and they have come to the conclusion that Bhutanese people are very happy. Bhutan is a very happy country full of happy people. So like this, if you say, that means what? That means it is in perhaps in that country there will be many words for happiness, because that is something intimately known to them. Just like if you go to Northern Europe, if you go, there are many words for snow. If you go to Denmark, there's many words for snow. So there is powdery snow, there is icy snow, there is something in between, all these things. We don't know snow at all. Nothing we know. We don't know snow at all. If you want snow, you have to go to Kashmir or you have to go somewhere to the Himalayas to look at it. And then we say ice. We don't even have the word snow. Ice, we say. So like this, depending on the person's experience, and happiness is such a universal experience. So in every language there will be there Priya, Moda, Pramoda, because it is based on human experience, and so it will always be there. And then what is that? So then the Priya, Moda, Pramoda, it's and anything in between, it's always there. And so the Priya is the starting point. And now Bhashyakara takes up the meaning of Priya, Moda and Pramoda finally, after dismissing a few other things and getting this argument back on track. Let me see if I can hear you today. So please repeat. I changed some settings and rebooted the computer. So we should be okay, I'm hoping. If not, we will try something else. Okay. Tasya.
Tasya.
Success. Okay, good. Anandamayasya.
Anandamayasya.
Atmanaha.
Atmanaha.
Ishtaputradidarshanajam.
Ishtaputradidarshanajam.
Priyam.
Priyam.
Shira eva shiraha.
Shira eva shiraha.
Pradhanyat.
Pradhanyat.
Yeah, very interesting. So he gives an example and he delineates the difference between Priya, Moda, Pramoda, right? So Priyam is the starting point. So Shiraha eva Shiraha. And earlier Shiraha means it's as though the head. Why? Because there is a gradation of placement. And so it is the head, meaning without Priya, we cannot even talk about Moda and Pramoda. So it's the starting point. So that's why it is given a Mukhya Sthana. It is given a place, head means it is a important place. It is the placement, it's given a very predominant placement as the head. Why? Because upon that is contingent the experiences of Pramoda, Moda and Pramoda. Without Priya, how can you have Moda and Pramoda? You cannot. So therefore it is head. But you shouldn't take it literally. So Bhashyakara says, Shiraha eva Shiraha eva Shiraha. It's like a head. The head, what is the function of the head in the human or any other body? That is the most important part. That's all. So here it is important, and so it's a starting point. Therefore, shiraha iva shiraha, because there is some pleasant. It is pleasant, and how do we know it is the head? Earlier, Bhashyakara had discussed this and said, Vachanat, Shruti Vachanat. Shruti Vachanat, because the Shruti says so. And there is pradhanyam for the first one, which is mentioned, which is as the head. And then that is what it is. So then tasya anandamasya atmanah ishtaputradi darshanajam priyam shiraha iva shiraha. So pradhanyat we have seen. So tasya anandamasya atmanah. So we should never forget this. Don't say Anandamaya by itself. For this Anandamaya, which is Atma, that is you. Bhashyakara is very careful in his language. Very important to note this. So this Anandamaya, whose truth is Atma Swarupa, for this Anandamaya Atma, what is that? The Tasya Priyameva Shiraha. Tasya means Anandamayasya Atmanaha. The Atma, that is Anandamaya. You should always remember the word Atma there. Otherwise, Anandamaya, if you can say Vijnanamaya, etc., if you keep saying, soon there will be a disconnect. And one will start to get bored. Why? Why does one start to get bored in Vedanta classes? One gets bored because it is no longer about me. But here, that's why I'm bored. But here it says it is very much about you. That's why it is said, Anandamayasya Atmanaha. For this Atma, which is you, in the form of Anandamaya. Anandamaya becomes an upadhi, and as though conditioning, and as though container for this Atma. Anandamaya avachinna Atma, Atma Swarupa. So the Atma Swarupa, which is never separate from the Anandamaya, that you and that Atma, which is Anandamaya, which is what? Upadhi Vishishtaha. It is endowed with the Upadhi called Anandamaya. So this is the one that is endowed with the Upadhi called Anandamaya. So then it has three iterations, three kinds of manifestations. What is that? Tasya shiraha iva shiraha priyameva shiraha. It is like the head. What is like the head? Priyam. Priyam is the head. Vachanat we have already seen. So priyameva shiraha. And so Vachanat and Pradhanyat also. Pradhanyat means because it is primary, mukhya. Why? It is number one. Without number 3 and 4, it makes no difference. हास्यात् किं स्यात् गतभावि चर्चा विनैक संख्यां गणनैव लोके. Ramana Maharshi says in Saddarshanam. So very nice. Bhutam cha bhavishyat cha swakale bhavat swakale tad vartamanam vihaya hasyana kim syat gatabhavi charcha vinaika sankhyaam gadanaiva loke. So there is a convention. You have to imagine that there is a convention of mathematicians. Mathematicians come to town for a conference and they are seriously discussing something. And what are they discussing? Some very complicated math problem, but they are discussing it without using the number 1. And that's why they cannot solve the equation, because the number 1 is missing. What is pradhana is missing. That is what it is. The number 1 is the head of Ganita. And then in counting, you can't start with 2. You can't start with 2. You can only start with 1. And you can be in denial about that 1. But that 1 only you have to start with. You can't start with 2, 3, 4, 5. What happened to it? It makes no sense. It completely upends all your calculations. So here are people in the math convention doing this, and we hasyam kim syat. Isn't it funny? And then everybody agrees, yes, yes, it is very funny that they have forgotten the number one and they are doing complicated math problems without using the number one. And then what are the people doing? The people are also similarly worried about the past, apprehensive about regretting the past, apprehensive about the future without reckoning the present. So the present here, very beautiful verse by Ramana Maharshi, the present here is equated to the example of number one. So here also the Shiraha is number one, because of which 2 and 3 can exist. And so therefore Pradhanyat, Mukhyatva. And so then Priyameva Shiraha Pradhanyat. Being Mukhya, there is a certain order. Why not Moda? That's how the order is from 1 to 2 to 3. There is an intensity and increase in the intensity. That's why Moda is not first. So then here, what is Priya? What is Priyam? Priyam is an experience of an object. That's what it is. Moda also is an experience of an object. And then Pramoda is also an experience of the object, but then the gradations of this experience and the proximity of yourself to that experience as the experiencer is very much different in all the 3 states. And so he explains Priya as what? Ishtaputra darshanajam priyam. A condition of the mind, a vritti, a disposition of the mind that arises when one sees a favorite offspring. And then every parent will say, no, I have no favorites. I love all of them equally. Still, there will be a synergy with one of them. A little more, an ease in relating, an ability to fall back on that person a little more than the rest. The rest are not unloved, but there's a special connection. And so what kind of a child is that? It is a son who has become famous, done a lot in life, and has gone abroad, is coming back after working and studying and working in the USA, coming back to India. And the parents cannot wait at the airport. They just want the flight to land yesterday. But you have to wait. And then they see them. And from a distance, they have just cleared the custom and are coming. Oh, so much anticipation, so much joy. This is what is called Priya. Ishtaputraja, putra darshanajam. That jam means generated. That which is born of, generated by Ishtaputra. Seeing your favorite child. But what if your favorite child has gone to an ashram to study the 3-year course? And wearing white clothes, which after wear and tear in the ashram, hurriedly washing it, has turned yellow and grayish, brownish, yellowish. There are many shades of white. And then this is just a sorry, sad, sad dhoti or whatever, salwar kameez, anything, sad dhoti. Worn out white color, all right, washed out white color, not even ironed, because it's a miracle that they have time to wash it. Forget ironing it, okay? So here the person is there, and then goes home to see the parents, and then what does the mother father say? What is this? The heart is not happy. Whereas the other one is coming all very, very nicely dressed and famous and all kinds of things. But this fellow is of no good, no use. And so like this. Therefore, Adi Shankara says, Ishtaputra Darshanam doesn't just mean your favorite offspring. Because if your offspring is your favorite offspring, you should have no problem with whatever he or she does. But the offspring here is not behaving according to what your heart wants. You want a certain synergy. The offspring is not giving that synergy. You want there to be ease, but there is a sense of dis-ease. You want there to be freedom for that offspring to come and visit you and for you to go and visit them, but you don't feel that ease. So then, there the Priya is not generated. That is the idea. Priya is not generated under those kinds of circumstances at all. Not possible to generate. Why? Because the word Ishtaputra comes. So it should not be Dushtaputra Darshanam. Dushtaputra means a son who has gone to the dogs, meaning fallen into bad company and doing bad things, wrong things. That of course does not generate priya, it generates krodha, anger, a disposition called anger. All right. And then Ishtaputra means your own ragadveshas are involved here, which is very important to understand in the generation of priya. Priya means a certain kind of a mild calmness and a mild pleasant feeling. So that mild, pleasant feeling, the generation of that is contingent upon your own raga dveshas. Adi Shankara wants to make that clear. And so he says that he gives the example of Ishtaputra Darshanam. Ishta means your own raga dveshas are involved in the generation of Priya. All right. And so so then the Ishtaputra Darshanajam Sukham, then that is the born out of the very sight of this Ishta Vishaya. Ishta Vishaya means any desirable object. So the very sight of it, the Sannidhi means the presence. In the presence of that object, what happens? There is a vritti vishesha that is generated. Vritti vishesha means a certain disposition that is generated. And that is the beginning point, and that's why it is pradhanyam. And then under what circumstances, what is, if this is priya, ishtavastu darshanam is priya, what is moda? Let us find out what is moda. So here, then, where is the text? There it is. So here, modah iti
मोदः इति
priyalabha
प्रियलाभ
nimittah
निमित्तः
हर्षः
हर्षः
स एव च प्रकृष्टः
स एव च प्रकृष्टः
हर्षः प्रमोदः
हर्षः प्रमोदः
आनन्दः इति
आनन्दः इति
सुखसामान्यम्
सुखसामान्यम्
आत्मा
आत्मा
क्रियादीनां
क्रियादीनां
सुख अवयवानां
सुख अवयवानां
तेषु
तेषु
अनुस्यूतत्वात्
अनुस्यूतत्वात्
आनन्दः इति
आनन्दः इति
परं ब्रह्म
परं ब्रह्म
तद्धि
तद्धि
शुभकर्मणा
शुभकर्मणा
प्रत्युपस्थापमान्ये
प्रत्युपस्थाप्यमाने
पुत्रमित्रादि
पुत्रमित्रादि
विषयविशेष
विषयविशेष
उपाधौ
उपाधौ
अन्तःकरणवृत्तिविशेषे
अंतःकरणवृत्तिविशेषे
तमसा अप्रच्छाद्यमाने
तमसा अप्रच्छाद्यमाने
प्रसन्ने अभिव्यज्यते
प्रसन्ने अभिव्यज्यते
तद्विषयसुखमिति
तद्विषयसुखम् इति
प्रसिद्धं लोके
प्रसिद्धं लोके
तद्वृत्तिविशेष
तद्वृत्तिविशेष
प्रत्युपस्थापकस्य
प्रत्युपस्थापकस्य
कर्मणः
कर्मणः
नवस्थितत्वात्
अनवस्थितत्वात्
सुखस्य क्षणिकत्वम्.
सुखस्य क्षणिकत्वम्.
Yeah, that's plenty. So now going further, he says, Tasya Anandavalli. Yeah, so what is Moda? He says, Moda is Priya Labha Nimittaha Harshaha. Priya Labhe Nimittaha. So in the gain of the Priya, there is in the Labha, in the gain of the Priya, what happens? There is Harsha generated. First, it was just a pleasant experience, Priya, but then there is a Harsha generated, there is a happiness generated, which is a little more than Priya. Now that Priya has been established as the first one, number one, then we can increase that the volume of that happiness, which everybody has had an experience of. And when that something is yours alone, then it is called Moda. That is little bit more utkarsha, little more uplifting, little more in gradation and in experience also. So this is what is called moda. So then what is this, so priya labha nimittaha harshaha, modaha. Harshaha, happiness. The happiness through the gain of that ishtavastu, like any object that is eaten, or the prospective son-in-law. For the prospective son-in-law, so there is lot of priya. We're very happy the parents are, yes, prospective groom going to marry the daughter, very, very happy. But then finally the marriage takes place. Then for some reason everyone is crying. And then they are saying, no, 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 these are tears of happiness. Bhagavan is also very funny for, crying for happiness, crying for sorrow, crying out of pain, same thing, physical pain, same thing, emotional pain, same thing, and joy also. Ananda Bhashpaha, tears of happiness, they say. So then everybody is crying. Oh, why are they crying? Because they cannot handle the emotion called moda. So a kind of a increased happiness. So first, the son-in-law proposed to the daughter and then asked for the parents' permission to marry the daughter. Parents are very happy. Everything is going well. Everything is wonderful. And then what? Then, but that's just a promise. That's just Priya. So when does it turn into Moda? It turns into Moda when all the tears of happiness are shed at the wedding and the parents feel a sense of relief. Yes, our daughter is going to be happy. And then especially if they're Indian parents, they will say, she is settled. It's a very unsettling word, okay? It's not that she is settled. It's that they are settled. That's all it is. They are settled, but then they are, what is that called? They are displacing that emotion onto the daughter. So it's a clean case of displaced emotion. So then, tasya anandamayasya atmanah, yeah, so that is moda. And then what is pramoda? Sa eva cha prakrishtah harshah pramodah. So then what happens? Then the newly married people, after a couple of years, announce that they are bringing a child into the world. Oh, how wonderful! Our family is growing, and now my happiness is also growing. Pramoda, great Pramoda. Sa eva harsha. That is the same harsha. The same harsha at all. It's not some other harsha. The sa eva harsha. The same harsha. Which harsha? The one that we encountered in the discussion of moda. Because of this labhanamitta, etc. That same one. That harsha, this harsha is what? The harsha is called pramoda. It's like, what is that? Mountain climbing. So you go, there is a little more to go. All your friends drop out. It's too steep. I can't do it. I'm already feeling oxygen deprived. You please go ahead, they say. And you just march triumphantly. Alas, there is no one to see you, but you just march anyway. And then, oh, Priya, yes, I'm on my own. Now I'm doing it. Moda, oh, the peak is just after the next bend. And then Prabhupada, yes, I have reached a peak. But then what's the use? Because there is nobody to share it with, because you're alone on the mountaintop. You're shouting it, but there's nobody to listen to. That's why the fellow who goes up quickly comes down in order to share it with everybody. How funny this mountain climbing is. In order to share it with everybody that I was there, I have climbed this. And in fact, there was a story of I think an Indian origin couple. Maybe they lived somewhere in the United States, but they went to India for mountaineering and to climb Mount Everest. And then what happened? They did not climb. I think they just went a little ahead than the base camp and then went back some other way and stayed in a hotel and pretended to be up in the mountain, etc., etc. And then at night, they snuck back into the base camp and said, we have just come back. We have climbed Mount Everest. And they had photos to prove it. So they had taken other climbers who had climbed and then Photoshop those people out and Photoshop themselves in. What an extent to delude the people. First, you have to be deluded to think that this is believable. And then you have to delude the other people with that. And then for about a month, this worked. They got in Nepal, they were invited to attend this, that, or the other, some function, some ceremony, and then they were given audience with the king, and then they were given trophies, and they just made money left, right, and center. Hand over hand, they just hand over fist, they made money, and then they had so many advertisements. They had a lot of advertisements, they had a lot of these things, they had everything. And then they had also some sponsorships. They acted in some ads and then made even more money. And then recognition, certificates, everything. And then what? Then one of unfortunately, they had gone with another couple who had already suspected that these people would have not climbed, and that other couple were honest. They said, okay, we can't make it. They had gone back. So, but somehow they found out this photo, the other couple, and they said, okay, these are the areas where there is some kind of a faking. So the photo is a fake photo, it is not a real photo. Then they were ordered to return the gifts. They were ordered to return all the accolades. And they went missing for a while. I mean, after that, I don't know what the story was. But so like this, so for Pramoda, to explain Pramoda, we went all the way up the mountain, Mount Everest. Actually, they didn't go, so we also didn't go. We just followed their story of as though having gone. And so just like this, you reach the pinnacle, and then you feel that sense of achievement, that sense of all-encompassing feeling that, oh, I've done this. That is what is pramoda. Okay? Yeah. So the ecstatic feeling, and that that is what is pramoda. And then so priyalabhanivitta harsha, and then sa eva prakrishta harsha. That harsha itself, when it is more enhanced, the harsha of the moda, when it is more enhanced, is called pramoda. And then prakrishta pramoda. So then the next word is in the Upanishad is Ananda Atma. So Ananda Atma. So then what is that Atma? Atma Priyadinam Sukha Avayavanam. This is important. See, I knew I was missing something here. So Anandaha iti Sukha Samanyam. So Ananda Atma Brahmapucham Pratishtha. This is where we are. This is the portion we are. Ananda Atma. The Atma is the trunk, the body, the torso of the bird. The torso of the bird is Ananda, and that is what is being discussed here. What is this Ananda iti? This is what is discussed, and Bhashyakara says that this Ananda is Sukha, Ananda iti Sukha Samanyam. So when you take Priya, Moda and Pramoda and understand them carefully, scientifically, objectively, what do they have in common? Happiness, Sukha. And what kind of Sukha? General Sukha, general Ananda, and that general Ananda is morphed, as it were, into Priya, Moda, Pramoda alone. Priya, Moda, Pramoda, dependent on this Atma, and then that they are manifest that Ananda is manifest in various degrees, in various gradations. Why? It is manifest in various gradations because there is the Antakarana Vrittis. Various Vrittis are there, and because of that, Vritti means disposition. Shanta, in the Panchadashi, it is talked about Shanta Vritti, a disposition that is, Shanta means what? Peaceful, a peaceful disposition. Ghora Vritti, a terribly angry and unfulfilled disposition. So, depending on that disposition, the Ananda is felt, experienced. So if you have a Ghora Vritti means if you have a disposition that is always angry, or Tamo Vritti, always miserable, always angry, then the Ananda will not shine. He's going to say that. The Ananda shines only when the disposition is clear. In the clear heart, Ananda shines. Otherwise, Ananda will come a little bit in sleep, a little bit in dreams, and maybe tiny bit in the waking state, and then after that it just goes away. Okay, so Ananda Atma, Sukha Samanyam. Sukha Samanyam means happiness in general, out of which the Priya Moda, what is that? Pramoda is gotten. So, so Ananda is there in Priya, Moda, Pramoda, but it is inhibited in all of them. Okay. So Sukha Samanyam means this is it, a question is asked in the, I think maybe in the Vritti or in the Brahma Sutra, I forget. A question is asked, is it like a jati? Sukha is a jati, and then we have certain things, certain genuses called Priya, Moda, Pramoda, like a tree. It is a species, and in that tree is a category. In that there are certain species, and in that there are certain behaviors, etc. So, can we take Priya, Moda, Pramoda like a jati? Is the question. Yeah, kind of. I mean, if you remember the limitations, then it is not a bad analogy to see Priya, Moda, Pramoda as a jati. So cow, if you say it is jati vachaka, cow jati. So then that cow jati, and then this, what is that? Summer jati, winter jati. In winter we do this, in summer we do this, all these things. So then dog jati, cow jati, etc. So then the two conditions are given for this. One is the so one is this what is that jati? What is that jati? Jati means that it is more or less like a species. So two ways we can look at it, or we can say samanyam means it is the same thing in all of them. Like when you say ghatakasha, patakasha, mathakasha. The akasha is samanya. So pot space and then cloth space, and then ashram space, ashram lecture hall space. When you say, or what are you saying? What is common here? Akasha is common. There cannot be two akashas, but that's why there is only one akasha manifested as ghata, pata, etc. Okay, and so that is exactly how this samanyam, ananda samanyam must be understood. And upadhi is there, upadhi vishesha is there, meaning it morphs into priya, moha, pramoda, all these things are there. But the underneath, so to speak, I don't like to talk like this generally, but so to speak, underneath, all this is what? Is Ananda. Ananda is the one upholding all these things and itself doesn't need to show off. So it just, as it were, retreats into its cave, so to speak, in the heart. And then one does Annadanam, one does all these things and everything, pleased, or in a pleased frame of mind. One does this, one does that, all these things, one does. And then the happiness keeps on increasing. Why? Because the disposition is there. Vritti Vishesha is there. And so then, what is this Ananda? Ananda is Atmananda. It is Sukha Samanyam. So one does various things to different degrees, but then the same Ananda comes, that Ananda being there in every one of them. Let's say one person is doing Annadanam, distributing food to the needy, another person is planting trees. Both of them are having Priya, Moda, Pramoda experiences. Third one is doing something else, and all of them are serving in a certain way. And so there is Ananda there. All of them Ananda is there, but in different degrees. But that Ananda, the presence of the Ananda here is called Sukha Samanyam, and that Ananda is Atma, Satchidanandam Brahma. More we'll see next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamedavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.